Okay, we're going to do the decimal side of the foldable. It's the white foldable, or it may be a different color, but I think for most of you it's white. We're just going to do the decimal side, so stay with that for me. Okay, so looking at your first section, it says adding decimals. So my first line says line up the decimal. Okay, we have to make sure it's all in line, just kind of like money. So be sure to carry values when they're over 9. So 302.65 plus 23.4. Okay, I can put a 0 here if I want as a filler. I don't have to. I normally wouldn't actually, but you do what you're most comfortable with. And we got 326.05. Okay, even though we're adding here, you have to make sure you have the signs. If the signs are different, you need to follow your integer rules from yesterday. Same sign, adding, keep the sign, different sign, subtract, and keep the sign of the larger. So this is my next side. It's subtracting decimals. So again, we're going to line up the decimal. Okay, so my problem is 613.47 minus 32.87. Okay, 7 minus 7 is 0. 4 minus 8, I can't, so I'm going to have to borrow. 2 minus 2 is 0. And we got 580.60. Okay, moving on to the multiplying decimals version. Okay, multiply the numbers like normal. Do not worry about lining up the decimals. A lot of you guys try to line up the decimals. That is going to just give you extra work, extra zeros that you don't need, that gets confusing in the end, okay? Count all the places to the right of the decimal in both numbers. Move from right to left that many times in the answer and place a decimal point, okay? So we're going to do this one specifically. So 23.32. And then 42.3. I take it all the way to the right side. Do not, I mean, you can line up the decimals. It's just extra work. Okay? Only line it up when you're subtracting or adding. So you're multiplying here, okay? So I would just multiply like normal. When you're multiplying decimals, you're just doing everything like normal, and then you worry about the decimal at the end. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 again, and then 6. And then I put a marker spot like this. You do it how you do it, okay? 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. 6, 4. Then my last one is 2 marker spots. I kind of wrote too big. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13. And then 9. So if I add it up all the way, and then I count, so here is my number, 9, 8, 6, 4, 3, 6. I'm going to write a little bit bigger to the right just so you can see it, okay? So I have 1, 2, 3 behind the decimal. So I go 1, 2, 3 behind the decimal and insert my decimal there, okay? Make sure you have as many that are in your problem as are in your answer, okay? And then dividing decimals is my last section. It says move the decimal in the divisor to the end, okay? Which one's my divisor? Huh? It's the outside, okay? So it's the bottom, right? Okay. Move the decimal in the dividend to the right. Okay. To the right. And then you can put amount there. To the right, okay? And it's going to be the same amount. Let's put the same amount. Move to the right, the same amount. Does that make sense? Okay, you're moving it as many times as you did in the divisor. Okay, put a decimal point in the quotient right above the 1 and the dividend like the norm. Okay, so we're going to just do an example. So we have 42.68 divided by 2.2. Okay, here is where I can't have a decimal, guys, okay? So we're going to scoot that 1 to the right, okay, and it takes it out. So we also scoot the same amount here, 1 to the right, and then we just take it straight up and put it in there, and then we're done with it. Does that make sense? There's nothing else to do with it. It's done. Okay? So, and then I just think of it, 22 will go into not 4, but 22 one time. Okay, and then 22 will go into 206. I would say 9 times. 9? And then it would go here 4 times. So our answer is 19.4. Okay? So, we've said this during class. I used to say outside, inside, up. So you move it on the outside, you move it on the inside, and then you just put it straight up. Go ahead and move it and be done with it, okay? Does that make sense? Remember we did outside, inside, up. That's what we talked about earlier in the year. So that should finish that side of that part right there.